It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Collector's Ultra Edition Blu-ray set from Nozomi Entertainment. Now, this set was recently released. It is a RateStuff.com exclusive, and it is quite a beast. Of all the Gundam Ultra Editions so far, this has the most disc content that we've currently seen, and could only be topped by Seed Destiny, as it may have a little bit more than this set does. Now, this is quite a confusing story for those that may not know. So we're going to try to break it down and look at this one set at a time. This was not provided for review. I did purchase this with my own money, and I do want to say this is not a sponsored video by Right Stuff. It is something I'm doing to give everyone out there a nice, concise review of this set in case you're looking to buy it, as it is kind of a hefty price tag, so you really want to know everything going in. So let's take a look at the box. First things first, most people notice this box is quite large. That's because the last couple Ultra Editions, which came out both in like 2018, I think, we got G Gundam and 00, which you'll notice here are shelf size. They're slightly taller than the Blu-ray cases, whereas Seed kind of clears them by a lot, but it is not quite as unwieldy as the good old Wing set from 2017, which, you know, is shorter than all of them, but is like this huge crate of stuff. So you can kind of see that it's a little bit taller than everything. It's not really shelf-sized, but there's a reason for that, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. Alright, so let's take a look at the packaging before we discuss the content inside. First up, the box is a nice heavy chipboard box with a cool slipcover. On the front, we got Kira Yamato with the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Collector's Ultra Edition. The same words on the side. Atherin Zala here on the back, with the awesome description of the series. Year 70 of the Cosmic Era. The Coordinators, a group of genetically enhanced humans, have moved into colonies orbiting the Earth, but that hasn't quieted the tensions between them and regular humans. The conflict soon escalates into a full-scale war. On the neutral colony of Heliopolis, Kira Yamato and friends are going to school and just being kids. But when the ZAF Commando forces attack, Kira's life changes forever. Left with no choice, he and Federation officer Muaramius are thrown into a battle in a prototype mobile weapon, which Kira christens Gundam. Now Kira must defend himself and his friends from his own people. For unknown to anyone else, Kira is a coordinator, and the enemy he faces on the battlefield is his childhood best friend, Atherin. So this is a really cool description. It sums up the very early part of the show, and nothing else. Down here we do have the nice, presented by Sunrise, of course created by Hajime Yate, Yoshiki Tomino, series supervisor, Chiaki Morisawa, character designer, Sashi Hirai, mechanical designer Kunio Okuhara, Kimiyoshi Yamane, art direction Shimagami Ikeda, director of photography Takashi Katsuyama, music Toshihiko Sahashi, director Mitsuo Fukuda. I like giving credit to the people that make this show beyond just who is voicing people. It's kind of cool to see that. I like those credits. So it does say that it includes the entire 48 episode HD remaster version of the series, featuring new audio tracks, the original 50 episode version of the TV series, and all three of the original special edition movies on standard definition Blu-ray. Digital extras include Mecha Animation Director HD comparisons, basically breaks down the differences between the SD and HD. 6 in this era video featurettes, which are kind of like compilation specials. I haven't totally watched those in full. They kind of look like they just summed up a character and their arc. Let's see, we got director's concept music videos. Those are kind of fun little videos of just putting together nice animation with music. Textless openings, textless endings, you know, your standard anime Blu-ray bonus feature. Gundam Seed character theater shorts, those little chibi shorts, and Gundam Seed epilogue after phase in the Valley of the Stars. Both of those are not dubbed. Also included is an exclusive 118-page art book featuring galleries, data archives, characters and mecha, introductions, Gundam Seed glossary, and a double-sided tear-out poster. There is a lot in this set. I summarized it there, so I wouldn't have to talk about some of this later. Yeah, no, there's a lot to this, and it's kind of deceptive because it doesn't look like a lot. Pulling the slipcover off here reveals a little bit more of the artwork, and on the side we have the content. So we got 3 Blu-ray cases here. We'll pull those out, and we've got the art book as well. Now the art book is really nice because it is full size. The ones that came with Wing and G, no, sorry, the ones that came with 00 and G were small. The Wing one was a little bit wider. This one's kind of a standard book size. So it's really nice to see. It's the reason why the box is so tall. They had to fit 3 Blu-ray cases in here, but they could have done a shrunk box. But I do appreciate this. Also because a lot of the artwork for Seed, I don't know why, is portrait. There's very little landscape stuff, so it'd be harder to do a square box, I think. So anyways, taking a look at the book here, we've got different images. Here's the poster. It folds out. It's got Kira and Athern on it. It's the same on both sides. You can tear it out if you really want to, but I'm not going to do that. So nice full page art. Again, a lot of portrait style art and not a lot of landscape. You got HD artwork, SD artwork, just based on how the characters look slightly different in the HD version. All kinds of artwork there. You got character breakdowns per parts of series, mecha breakdowns, an introduction. Essentially, I think this is a lot of it is translated from the booklets that came with the Japanese Blu-ray. So it has all that information as, oh, here's based on these episodes in the set kind of thing. I really do like the pages that break down animation directors and screenplay writers and air dates and all this information that only the crazy nerds care about. Crazy nerds being me. And I do love the glossary. There's a lot of words with Seed. There's a lot of words with Seed that don't make a lot of sense. So there's that. Now let's talk about the Blu-rays. So first up, let's discuss the biggest draw to the set, the standard definition version of Seed. Now, while visually not probably as strong as the HD version, there is a lot of reasons to still watch this. Editing is different, scenes are presented differently, and of course, the English dub is entirely different. The English dub for Seed in its original run is presented here. The Ocean Productions dub, entirely intact, for all 50 episodes, as well as the 3 compilation movies, the Seed Special Editions. So it's really nice to see that. It's not something that they're going to release separately. Whereas usually all the disc content for an Ultra Edition is available same day as the Ultra Edition, the Seed stuff's been a little delayed, but this is confirmed to not be coming out separately. This is only in the Ultra Edition. Same thing goes for Seed Destiny. They wanted to keep the original dub and the original SD version preserved on disc, but releasing that alongside the HD version would just lead to a lot of confusion. It makes sense. Sunrise wants the HD version out there, but I'm really glad they let us have this version here. So this is standard definition Blu-ray, format many may not be familiar with if you don't follow Discotech. These also have nice reversible covers. I just want to show that off for a second. If you're not familiar with standard definition Blu-ray, it is standard definition video on a Blu-ray disc, meaning a lot more can go onto a disc as opposed to HD video. So, for example, this has 25 episodes per disc, 25 on disc 1, 25 on disc 2, the 3 compilation movies on disc 3. And these all have fully treated menus too. They look really, really nice, and they're consistent with the HD versions. The audio quality is fairly good, though a little weak, but understandable due to the masters available, and the visual quality is also pretty good. It doesn't seem like there's any compression going on, just some weird color balance, and I'm not sure if that's Sunrise's masters that are doing that or whatnot. But yeah, presented with English dub and Japanese version with English subtitles. If you want to watch SD Seed, this is a very concise way of doing so. If you have the old DVDs, though, you may not see a quality boost. That's the one thing about standard definition Blu-ray. You don't really get a quality boost significantly, but you are going from a format that is native to 480p to a format that is native to 1080p, so you'll get a accidental quality bump. I know that some people will notice this with Discotech's Samurai Pizza Cats release, because their DVD version was 8 DVDs and their standard definition Blu-ray was 1 disc, and there was actually a quality jump just from putting it on standard definition Blu-ray. So this is likely to look a little bit better than the DVD version. I have no idea what that looks like in person, just because I never owned it. But yeah, if you're wanting to own SD Seed with the original Ocean Productions dub, this is how. You gotta buy the Ultra Edition. It's just how it is, and I'm glad that they gave us the option, as opposed to just saying, well, just take the HD remaster and suck it up and deal with it. So let's talk about that HD remaster. So here it is. So it's presented on 2 sets. This is probably similar to how it'll be released singly, except the artwork may be different. This does say Seed HD Remaster Project. You can see that it's HD Remaster Part 1, Part 2, but they're not really treated for single release. They don't have barcodes, they don't have descriptions of what's on the discs. These are going to be a little different than the final retail versions. So taking a look at Part 1, we got the Kira and Athern art from the outer box there. On the inside, we've got the Perfect Strike, and then Kira and Athern on the inside. And this is 5 discs. So there's only 5 episodes per disc, but that allows for perfect resolution. There's no compression going on here. And in fact, these all have bonus features. The in this era shorts are spread across. The openings and endings are spread across. So they did need a little bit of extra room. But it is nicely laid out. The openings and endings appear when those new openings and endings appear in the show, so the clean versions are there. And overall, I gotta say, it looks fantastic. Except I didn't even notice something. The fact that this show had a couple different versions. Yeah, obviously the HD remaster, but there's 2 versions of the HD remaster. The first version is the broadcast version, where they took the original standard definition series, recropped it to 16:9, threw in a little bit of new animation in the openings and endings, and called it a day. Then when they went to release the series on Blu-ray, they reanimated a lot of key scenes and provided a lot more new animation. Not new animation that required new voice recording, which was helpful for the Japanese side, as they didn't have to re-record after they already just re-recorded. So it actually provided a different version. Now, unfortunately, Sunrise inadvertently gave Nozomi the wrong masters. So this version presented in the set currently is the HD broadcast version, which means it doesn't have a lot of that new animation. And in fact, the bonus features on here that are the Mecha Director's commentary show some scenes that got reanimated that aren't present in the set. This is something that was easy to look over because, honestly, when I was flipping through the discs, I hadn't even noticed. I was just checking key scenes, and I hadn't noticed anything. It wasn't until people started comparing and contrasting, going like, hey, wait, okay, this doesn't look right. That Nozomi, before I even knew it was a problem, Nozomi already was like on a statement. They're like, we're talking to Sunrise, we're going to figure this out. We want to make sure this is right. We spent, 3 years on this set. We want to make sure everything is done correctly. And eventually Sunrise and Nozomi talked and found out that, yes, they inadvertently got the wrong masters. Apparently, Sunrise did not realize that the home video version and broadcast versions were different. It's one of the only cases of that in Gundam, and especially with an HD remaster. It's usually HD remaster, you're done. Since this one was a much more extensive HD remaster that required new recording and new editing, which is why it required a new dub, which we'll talk about in a moment, it did lead to a lot of work already being done, and then on top of that, more work being done for the home video release, and whoever the contact at Sunrise didn't know that, and so Nozomi got the wrong masters. But they already said they're correcting that. They got the right masters coming in. They should get them. They get them in process. They're going to get them done as soon as possible. And replacement discs will be sent out to everyone that bought this set. So all 10 discs will be replaced with the HD the home video version, as opposed to the broadcast version that's currently present here. They said that there will be a packaging difference, so you don't mix up your discs, and you don't have to send back the broadcast version. So here's the broadcast version. I get to keep this, which is pretty cool for preservation and archiving. It's nice having like all the different versions of the show all presented on Blu-ray legally in North America with subtitles and a dub. So I'm really glad that Nozomi already has corrected what was the only problem with the set, because otherwise this set is essentially perfect. It's not perfect because nothing is perfect, but I really have no complaints. We got an art book, we've got all the versions of the show, we have the home video version coming in later. There's not really much more I can ask for. So let's talk about that new dub. Yes, one of the big things of the set is that the HD version features a new dub, this time produced by NYAB Post. So it features none of the returning actors from Ocean Productions dub back in the Toonami days. This dub hasn't aired anywhere else yet. It's not available for streaming or aired on TV, though I kind of feel like it might come to Toonami in the near future. From what I've listened to of it, I haven't watched it in full yet, but I listened to some scenes to get kind of a feel for each character. I think the new voices fit great. It was obviously needed to re-record the show because of the new editing. You just couldn't slap the old dub onto the new show. Not to mention the old audio quality of the old dub was not going to match the audio quality of the music and sound effects tracks for the new HD version. So it was really nice to see a new dub. It's fresher. It feels a little bit more grounded, a little bit more realistic. Some of the older dub voices can get a little goofier just because it was the time they were doing it in. They were making it for Cartoon Network, so they wanted to make sure it had that like Cartoon Network sound. Whereas I think the new dub translation-wise, it's probably a little bit more accurate and a little bit more natural tones in voices. Similar to what they did, NYAV Post did with Unicorn, with Thunderbolt, that kind of thing. It definitely feels like it fits the tone of the show better, which I think is overall a good reason to redub a show. So overall, this is a great set. It does set you back about $225. It is an expensive set. It's more expensive than the other Ultra editions. It doesn't come with many physical bonuses, like it doesn't have any keychains or stickers or anything. But conversely, you're also getting 100 episodes plus 3 compilation movies and a whole swath of bonus features. There is hours and hours and hours on this set, and it's all dual audio for the most part, except for some of those bonuses. So this is a huge undertaking. Nozomi went in and subtitled the entire show, the HD, the original SD, and then also mastering the new dub, which is quite an impressive feat. I don't think they produced the dubs themselves. I do think that was Sunrise. Sunrise does kind of handle dubs directly themselves. And yeah, Nozomi just kind of put it all together and put it in the set. Been working on it for years. And there's hope for Seed Destiny coming out in 2021. Though if it does get delayed, I would totally understand. These are huge sets to undertake when you're dealing with mastering 3 or 4 different versions of a show. Not only does that take a long time to make sure everything's correct, but that also takes a long time just to get it to render. That's a lot of work. So I'm really proud of the work they did here. I'm really happy with the set. And I'm really happy that we're also getting the home video version. That is just the cherry on the top. Though it does make me wonder, is the Seed Destiny set going to come with the broadcast version and the home video version of the HD in addition to the SD and the special editions? And Stargazer getting thrown into that? We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't mind even just doing like a separate like mail away order thing of like, yeah, I'd like the broadcast version, but I don't know if they want to go through all that trouble to master a show twice when one version is inferior to the other. So I understand that, but I'm excited to see the Seed Destiny set. I'm ready. I hope it's exactly the same size as this so that they just line up perfectly together. That would be so cool. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Nozomi has very good, consistent track records with their packaging. I love how every show that they release, all the spines match up, all the logos are in the same place, even if it's years later. Like it's just really incredible work. So that does it this review. I've said Seed, HD, SD, Remaster, Broadcast, Home Video, Ocean, NYAV Post way too many times in this video, but hopefully it didn't get too repetitive as I was trying to get all the information out there. This is a complicated release, actually, when you think about it. If it was just this complicated to talk about it and review it, I can only imagine how much labor-intensive work this was for Nozomi. And I really appreciate their team putting together such a great set and also remedying what was an inadvertent accident of the wrong masters being provided. That was something that Sunrise and Nozomi were able to fix, and I'm glad that both companies were willing, especially on the Sunrise part. A lot of the times the Japanese company's not willing to correct something, even if it's their fault. So it's really wonderful that this partnership is that strong, that these companies are both dedicated to releasing these shows in the best way possible. So overall, I can recommend this to anyone that wants the SD version, the original Ocean dub, the art book. But if you do just want the HD home video version of Seed, maybe wait it out for the single releases. It's going to be a lot less. But like I said, this is exclusive to Right Stuff, anime.com. So if you do want it, go check out a look over there. That's a great store if you're looking for anime Blu-rays. I've never had an issue with them in, I think, 8 years of consistently buying from them, like month to month. They are a really solid company. So I do recommend them if you are looking for anime Blu-rays in US and Canada, because that is the company I go to. When stuff gets announced, I pre-order it from them because I know they won't let me down, and they haven't yet. And sometimes they get stuff early, which is super duper fun. So overall, that's this review. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave a comment down below, and tell me how many times I said Seed and HD and Broadcast and all those other fun words. Make a drinking game out of it for New Year's if you want. And yeah, also hit subscribe, notification bell. There will be more videos. I'm going to be talking about Blu-rays for a couple more videos just because this is where my mind is. It's my happy bright spot of 2020 because if anything, we got really nice Blu-ray discs for shows that I really wanted on Blu-ray. So overall, that does it. Check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for interviews, reviews, and more. Check out my graphic designer on Twitter at darkclaw643. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.